My loyal viewers, supporters, and the one them where I watch and not say nothing. No worries, still a soon. Alright, love on the same way. Yeah, so we up. The kitchen I get started. Yeah man. And we have some nice things that go on in there today. And for all of the people them where
love them belly.
Yeah man. The show I go start. Alright. Welcome once again to another exciting episode in my kitchen. Dean's kitchen, of course. Today I will be preparing for you Jamaican fried dumplings. Some call it fried bake, some call it Johnny cakes, whatever you wanna call it. In Jamaica, the culture we call it dumplings. Now, I've gotten 2 requests for this particular recipe, and I know it can be done in many ways, but it's just the technique that I'll be using that will be making a difference. To follow this particular technique, you can't go wrong. You therefore cannot go wrong. So before I get started, I just want to big up all my loyal viewers, loyal supporters, the ones that we are watching and not say nothing. No worries, still a soon. Love when you see them. So without further ado, I'm gonna get started. In this silver pan, I have 2 cups of sifted all-purpose flour. It was sifted to incorporate air in the mixture. The result, you'll end up getting a lighter, more fluffier dumpling. In this little container, I have 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder. I have 1 teaspoon of salt. In this container, I have 2 tablespoons of Lasco soy. Now this is optional. You don't have to include. I prefer to have my dumplings with flavor. You can use whatever Lasco, whatever flavor of your choice. It's up to you. And right here I have 1.5 tablespoons of butter. Now all these will be combined to the flour to make the dough. Just before I go in with the butter, I'm just gonna use my whisk to evenly distribute all the ingredients into the flour. Oh, did I mention my water? I have 1 cup of room temperature water to my right. It's time to add the butter to the mix. And I will be using my hands to incorporate the butter into the mix. Ensure that your hands are clean before going into the flour. The method I'll be using to incorporate the butter into the flour is a scoop up rubbing method. So we are aiming to achieve a breadcrumb consistency. So we mix all the flour around and just rub in the butter. Mix all the flour around, rub in the butter. And this is done until that consistency, the breadcrumb consistency, is achieved. The consistency that I'm looking to achieve, I've reached it, so I'm going to go in with 1/4 the amount of the water that I have. So make a little indentation in the center, add my water, Please be careful not to knead your flour too much, as it will activate the gluten's in the flour. You want to try and prevent that. Remember, the softer the dough, the better it is. It should not be too soft. Alright, so there we have it. Basically finished kneading. Remember, we don't want to knead it too much. I'm finished kneading this dough. I'll be placing it in my refrigerator overnight for proofing. I've already done a batch which I'll be using today. Here it is. Just the consistency that I want. And the reason why it looked like that is because I was touching it prior to showing it on the video. So I'm gonna flour my surface just so that the dough doesn't stick to it. And I'm gonna lightly dust my hands with a little bit of flour so that the dough doesn't stick to it as well. In hand, I have my dough, which I'll be stretching horizontally and placing it on my work surface. I'll be equally dividing my dough. You can pinch a piece and roll it if you wish to, but it's better to divide it equally, especially if you're having guests over and you want to do the thing the right way. So I'm using my bench scraper to divide my dough into equal parts. The first way, or the first method rather, is take the dough, bring the ends to the center of it, like this, and then take your hand, folded method, folded way like this, and place it over your dough, and roll it in the middle of your hand to get that ball shape. It's not perfect, but second method, which I grew up seeing my mother doing, I call it the flat out method. Press it in like this. So there we have it, two methods. My oil is heating in the background and I'm working to achieve 280 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't have a thermometer, so I'm just gonna be judging. But there are ways to test the oil. You can pinch a piece of the dough and drop in the oil, and if it floats too fast, then the oil is too hot. You're gonna have to add some more oil to that to cool it down a bit. So I'm gonna use one of the two methods to check my oil to see if it's too hot or too cold. So I've pinched a piece of my dough and I'm gonna drop it in the oil. If it rises too fast, then it's too hot. As you can see, it's still submerged, so it's just about the right temperature to add my dough. Before going in with the flour, just insert a slight sink in the center of it, then dip it in your oil so that the oil can penetrate the middle. So as you can see, all my dumplings have been added and they have floated a bit to the top. Some of them have even started to change color on the outer crust. So we're aiming to achieve a golden crust, but on the other hand, the inside is supposed to be soft and fluffy. So we give it just about 5 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes, and then we increase the temperature as we go along, because we don't want the outside to cook before the inside is cooked. So about 7 to 8 minutes in, I'm gonna gently flip them. The crust has already started to turn brown, so that is simply saying that the inside is being cooked the way it should be cooking. So I'm just gonna lightly turn them over. Most of them have an irregular shape, but I tried my best. I tried my best, trust me, I tried my best. So I'm just gonna leave them to continue frying for an additional 3-4 minutes there. I'll turn off my stove because it has reached that time. I'm gonna remove them from the oil and place them in my drainer. As you can see, it has a brown, goldish, brownish outer look. Can't wait to see the inside. That's the color we are aiming to achieve. On the other hand, it's all to make sure that inside is cooked as well, because the outside can be brown and the inside can be raw. So I'm gonna remove the rest from the oil. They have all been removed. See what they look like. It's kind of too hot to be showing inside, so I'm gonna let it cool first and then I'm gonna break it down to you.
Is your neck hurting?
Thanks again for tuning into Dean's Kitchen. Please remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell for any new content we drop. Yeah man! Alright, like, share, leave your comments below. Any questions or queries. Respect.